everyone, and welcome to the Stream Squad. I'm film critic Jeffrey K. Howard in Las Vegas.
And I'm film critic Tony Toscano in Salt Lake City. And Jeff, it's another season with the Duttons.
That's right, Tony. Kevin Costner and the cast of Yellowstone are back for season 5 on the Paramount Network. John Dutton becomes governor of Montana and rules with an iron fist.
I, John Dutton, do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the state of Montana against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Well, you know, we opened season 5 with John Dutton winning the governor's race, and during his victory speech, Beth gives Jamie a look. I mean, the expression, if looks could kill, comes to mind, and I just think that this is going to be the most explosive season between them.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of ways, you're right. Yeah, she's got him locked down at the beginning of season 5, and he feels lost. He feels trapped. He's got nothing, and she's got him in a cage. So Jamie's at the point now where he's just boiling in anger and resentment without a plan, without a way to get out of it. And I think his view of his sister has changed, of what she made him do. And I think any maybe respect or love he had for her, it might be gone. And the same for John too. So he's a dangerous man, I think. I mean, and there are some interesting scenes between Beth and I this season. Yeah,
she won't even make him a drink in the car. I thought that was, I love that. And John's like, "Will you make him a drink?" And he gives him your drink. That's what it was. I love that.
That's right. Yeah.
But John Dutton is very clear to Jamie that the ranch comes first this season, and it will take sacrifices. Do you think Jamie is willing to make sacrifices for John Dutton?
I think Jamie's made sacrifices for John Dutton. I think in his view, he's killed his own father, who he didn't even know existed or whatever. He did that for them. He did everything he's done for them, all the terrible things. And so I think he's realizing that there's never an end to this. And there's never a moment where they go, they thank him for it, or they show their appreciation by rewarding him with something like parts of the land or governorships or things like that seemed like it was going to be promised to him. So this is only stacking these ill feelings he has for his family now on top of each other.
I have been waiting patiently for season 5, and I saw the first episode. It did not disappoint, and
glad to hear it, because I know you're an avid watcher.
Oh yeah, well, Paramount's being selfish. Only one episode. I have to sit around with the rest of the movie-going public.
We can keep you on ice now.
Well, the ads keep saying it's going to be bloody. Can fans count on that this season?
Sure. That's all I'll give you.
That's all you're to give me. That's all I expected, Cole. That's all I expected. Watching the first episode this season, Rip never looks to the future. He just thinks about present day, but he sees no future for the Dutton Ranch. I've never seen Rip so worried before.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of one of those things where, he's kind of spitballing to Beth in that scene, and he's looking down. And look, he's never seen that amount of people on the ranch before, and the idea that the public life is now becoming personal on the ranch, I don't think he likes that, and I get it. Yellowstone's kind of it's his home, you know what I mean? And so it's like somebody in his backyard, and as much as he respects the fact that I think John is going off and he's going to help not only the state but the people of Montana, I think he would love for them to
in no simple words, right?
Yeah.
If you ask actors who do movies like Goodfellas or The Sopranos, and it's so many times an actor's identified with a role, do fans mistake you for Rip Wheeler when they meet you?
I'm not gonna lie, yes. Yeah.
Do you like to mess with him sometimes and kind of turn the character on? Because you're nothing like Rip Wheeler.
No, I don't do that, but I mean, I think they would love that if I did.
Well, congratulations, Cole, on season 5. I can't wait to see the rest of it, and it's always a pleasure to speak to you.
I love that picture, by the way, behind you. That's beautiful of the two of us.
Oh, that's a wonderful scene. Yeah, that's why I chose it today. So,
yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching, brother.
You bet. Talk to you soon. Tony, Yellowstone season 5 is now on the Paramount Network, and there's so much Yellowstone going on, Tony. We have another prequel that's hitting Paramount Plus, aren't we?
That's right. 1923 is a prequel to Yellowstone. The limited series stars Harrison Ford as Jacob Dutton, who's fighting to preserve the rancher's way of life against a changing future.
tell the world what happens when they cross me.
Greed will be the thing that kills us all.
Is he on the rainwater? Come with me.
You're no god, Jacob Dutton!
You attack my family, it's gonna be the last thing you ever do.
Jacob Dutton is a hard but fair man, and did that attract you to this character?
Well, I didn't want to name the characteristics, because it somehow offends the complication of it all. But he's a character who's under great pressure, and it intrigued me to explore his character and his will, his courage, his relationships, especially that between himself and the character that Helen Mirren plays, his wife. Helen and I worked together 40 years ago on Mosquito Coast, she playing my wife at that time. And she was cast first, and I knew that she was part of the project before I was ever heard of it. And that was a big attraction to me. But and of course there was no script at first. There was just a matrix that in conversation that Taylor walked me through. And when I got the script, I found it to be extremely ambitious, and the character was intriguing to me. Not much like any other character I've ever played. An opportunity to do something new, different.
Yeah, and he's a man seeing the times change around him. 1923. I mean, there's the industrial age going on. Automobiles are in the streets.
He's seeing the mounting pressures that are afoot and coming.
Yeah.
And none of them are particular advantage to what he does. And he is trying to secure the future for his family. The land is all they've got. The land and their sweat equity is all they've got. There's no money. There's no real cash. They're land rich, but they're under pressure, a tremendous pressure financially.
1923 is streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus. Jeff, what's coming up?
Well, Tony, your interview with Daniel Craig, that's right, James Bond himself, for the new comedy Glass Onion from Netflix. So don't go away.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Stream Squad. I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
And I'm film critic Jeffrey K. Howard. Now, Tony, you spoke to Daniel Craig for his new comedy, Glass Onion.
I did. Now, Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, of course, the title says it. It's a sequel to the comedy Knives Out.
I've invited you all to my island.
Hi!
Because tonight, a murder will be committed. My murder.
Once you're dead, will we still be able to talk to you?
Yeah, I'm not playing dead the whole weekend, dude.
This is truly delightful.
Across the island, I've hidden clues. You will have to closely observe each other. If anyone can name the killer, that person wins our game. Any questions?
He reminds me so much of Columbo, played by the great Peter Falk.
Yeah, the brilliant Peter Falk.
He's so underestimated as a detective. I mean, I think that's his secret of, of course he's a great observationalist, and you play that so well in this movie.
Oh yeah, I think that's. Listen, I'm a huge Columbo fan, and as I am of many of the murder mysteries, and I've stolen from all of them, hopefully a little bit, but it is what I like about Benoit is that he's kind, he's not mean, and he's very interested in people, and I think that's what one of his tricks up his sleeve is to sort of undo people with kindness and curiosity.
When you're with somebody like Rian Johnson as a director, I mean, is he open to your suggestions as well?
Yeah, it's a very. We shoot the script because the script is so brilliant. But I've always sort of maintained when you have such a good script, it's possible then to build. It becomes a sort of a foundation, and there's a lot of improvisation in the movie, especially off some of the brilliant actors. I mean, to have those that amount of talent in the room, you're going to get something. And but it really is based around Ryan and his. You know, you can't undo a murder mystery. If you start to sort of pick it away at the edges, then the whole thing falls to pieces. It has to tie and it has to be tight. And Ryan's, you know, it's what's wonderful about this movie. I think one of the things that's wonderful about this movie is that it's very generous. That that there's a payoff to everything. And if you watch it twice, which hopefully people will do, then you'll see all of those payoffs.
And I love the fact that every character has a moment in this film that is just, you know, just wonderful for an actor to take on.
Yes, I mean, listen, we had to. I mean, you know, when they like Catherine Hahn and Janelle Monáe and all of them are just, we have to get them. We have to squeeze everything out of them.
In our final seconds that we have together, you know, coming from the live stage as you did, there is something certainly theatrical about doing these. It's almost really like watching an Agatha Christie play, you know, in a live setting.
Well, he gives me these big speeches, so I said to him on the first one on the Knives Out was I said, you know, I'll learn the whole lot as one piece, and then we'll shoot it. We should shoot it chronologically as one piece, so that it has a sort of continuity and that there is something. It retains a certain theatricality. Both of us are big fans of the movie with Laurence Olivier and Michael Caine, which is Sleuth. Is it Sleuth? I think it is. Which is very theatrical, comes from that background and sort of has. And we wanted to sort of to pay homage to those sort of films and to also to Agatha Christie.
Again, The Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, is streaming exclusively on Netflix. Jeff, Jennifer Lawrence is back.
She is, Tony, in a new drama called Causeway that's streaming exclusively on Apple TV+. She plays a U.S. soldier who experiences a traumatic brain injury during her tour in Afghanistan. Now, she struggles to return to her daily life, where even the simplest tasks are a struggle.
I work for the Army Corps of Engineers. Now I need them to clear me so I can go back.
You got blown up over there and you want to go back?
I've got to get away from here somehow. I don't know.
What happened?
It was in a car accident.
You know, a story dealing with grief and trauma. Reading this for the first time as an actor, could you not help yourself by becoming James and experience his journey?
Yeah, I had to be very careful with James because, you know, I didn't want to compare my grief with his. I didn't want to get lost in what each other's pain and exploration of trauma was. I wanted to make sure that I was honest to what he needed and honest to where he was coming from. And with that, that means that I had to lay down a lot of my own things before approaching him. What I realized about the text of James is that there wasn't much to him at first, meaning there wasn't much that he had to say or share, which let me know that there was a certain part of a process of grief that he had gone through that he had pretty much closed himself off to. What I wanted the most, though, was to show the other sides of James, that being the lighthearted sides, the guy that you share a burger with, the man that actually is brave enough to finally jump into a pool again. I wanted those things to be revealed more as we were going along. And thanks to the collaboration with Jennifer and Lila, we got to this place where we actually got to see these parts of James that weren't so burdened down, that weren't so hidden anymore. So yeah, it was difficult because he, you know, we meet him in the movie where for the most part, he's pretty much an ordinary guy, an ordinary mechanic just working at this place. And he meets this woman that he actually can see a certain part of him reflected in. He can see that she needs a bit of assistance. He can see that she's working through her own things, which in essence lets him drop his guard down a lot. I don't think there were many people who ever asked James about how he felt after suffering this major tragedy that he went through. I don't think he had a lot of people around him to check and make sure he was okay. So I wanted to make sure that came through.
The thing is also, Brian, that James is constantly reminded of his pain, of his trauma, of his loss. He can never escape it. He's even aware of it because, not to give any spoilers away, but once you learn everything, his backstory, you see where he repairs cars, his drinking, all these little things that contributed to his pain are still hovering around him.
Yeah, well, that kind of happens sometimes with grief, right? It's no different than people who have lost a child or a partner and they kind of keep their room the same way, or they hold on to these tokens the same way because they become time capsules of their grief.
Now, Causeway is streaming exclusively on Apple TV+, and Jennifer Lawrence, her performance is incredible, and so is Brian Tyree Henry. Expect a lot of buzz around award season. Tony?
Yes, when we come back from the break, we're going to take a look at James Corden's new comedy called Mammals.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Stream Squad. I'm film critic Jeffrey K. Howard. I'm joined by my colleague, film critic Tony Toscano. Tony, tell us about the new series Mammals.
Mammals is produced and starring James Corden, who plays a Michelin star chef whose pregnant wife reveals some secrets that, well, don't go down easy.
It's funny, isn't it? Just bobbing along in your life, day to day, in one reality. And then suddenly, disaster strikes.
It does feel like a show that once people find it and they watch it, they continue and because basically the show twists and turns every single episode. The second you think you know what the show is, it twists and turns and tells you it's something else. And I'm immensely proud to be in it. I really, really am.
Do you like wearing the producer's hat?
Kind of, yes. I'm someone who really, as best I can, doesn't want any responsibility. And my wife will, she will testify to that being true. But on this particular show, I loved it so much that I wanted to do really anything I could to get it made. And as soon as we partnered with Prime Video and they showed such interest in the show and really wanted it to be on their platform, it felt like we really had a show that could be quite special. Because the show's written by a writer called Jez Butterworth, who is, for anyone who doesn't know, he's written 2 Bond movies. He's written the new Indiana Jones, which is out next year. He's written Ford versus Ferrari and Cruella and all these movies. And what he's done really is take everything in his award-winning plays and everything that he's learned making these huge movies and basically put them together in something which does feel incredibly unique and is probably, as good a show as you could wish for to snuggle up and watch over the holidays,
Mammals is streaming on Prime Video. Jeff, what else is on Prime?
Well, also streaming on Prime Video is a new murder mystery series called Three Pines, based on the novel series by Louise Penny. Now, Alfred Molina plays Inspector Gamache, who sees what other officers do not.
This is crazy.
Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands.
My baby's gone.
And nobody's even looking for her.
Grief feels like fear, but it's not. It's love with no place to go. You need to step back. Something doesn't add up. So much going on beneath the surface. All I've got to do is find out what.
In this series, she's definitely has more of that awkward and excited feel to her, just excited to be part of the team, which is definitely what I kind of went through when I was getting cast for this.
Well, I think she's almost like childlike. She's very naive.
Yeah, honestly, I describe her as a puppy. She's just really excited to please people and to do the right thing.
Yeah, I love that line. She wants to kick indoors, and Al Molina's like, "This is not a movie."
Yeah, she's like, oh, sorry. She's imagined this moment before many times, I'm sure.
Well, she has to, because it's a murder. It's Agent Nicole's first big case, and there are times when she's naive and she's inexperienced, but sometimes she comes through for the team, doesn't she?
Absolutely, and I think that's why Inspector Gamache definitely has He has, you know, a liking to her. He knows that she definitely has a different way of thinking, and he does too. So I think that's why he takes her on and really appreciates the ways she solves crimes, because she's definitely a little out of the box, as he is as well.
Yeah, but they come to her town, so she knows her town and her people better than anyone. So they're the fish out of water, not Agent Nicole.
Exactly. Yeah, she knows, you know, small town vibes, which is again very similar to. I grew up about an hour where we shot the series, actually. So, you know, I kind of understood a little bit of the culture and how it is in a small town. So yeah, I definitely feel like I brought that to the team for sure.
Now be sure to catch Three Pines, which is streaming exclusively on Prime Video.
And there's more to come right after the break.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. This is a serious problem, but one we can solve. Visit feedingamerica.org to help. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're feeding America.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Stream Squad. Thanks so much for joining us today, and make sure you check us out on social media and our website for more reviews and interviews, thestreamsquad.us.
And next week on the show, we're going to take a look at Christian Bale's new film, The Pale Blue Eye. Everybody have a great day.
What is this? Blood, symbols, ritual. Oh my lord.
Man will do most anything to cheat death.
Where are the facts? Where are the simple facts? The truth!